Good afternoon, my friends. It's like noon right now, so yeah, it's afternoon. I could have said good morning, but I'm not 100% sure yet if it's actually past the 12 o'clock mark, but good afternoon nonetheless. Today, we are out here at Devil's Creek Trail in Cambridge, Ontario. It's a branch off of the Walter Bean Trail. It's only a short one, and I chose a short one today because it's kind of chilly. It's like minus 12 degrees Celsius. That's like 8 degrees Fahrenheit for my American friends. But I didn't want to sit at home because the sun is shining. Although that doesn't make it much warmer. I thought I'd at least get off my butt and go out and do something. As for if I'm going to do the whole trail, it's only 1.6 kilometers. Will depend on how cold I get on my little walk. And besides that, I don't think it's a loop. I think either way, no matter how far I go, I'm going to have to return on the same trail. So there is that too. And I usually don't like doing stuff like that. I always try to keep it fresh. So that's going to be like a 1.6 kilometer walk back on the same trail I just walked up, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I'm not an expert on wildlife, so I don't know if this is too cold for anything to be out and about. I'm not really expecting to see too much today, but hey, there have been days when I've said that and I get surprised and discover that I was wrong. And that happens quite a bit. So although we're not expecting to see too much today, we might be surprised. Stick around and join me on this journey. We're not far from the Grand River. It's a few hundred meters to my left, between all the trees that are there. Just on the other side, and we may come up to it at some point. I have never been on this trail before, so I don't know for sure. Only time will tell. Because of the fresh snowfall on the ground, I don't expect that I'll be taking any offshoot trails today, especially if they look like they're going to be on a downhill slope at all. I might just stick to the main trail here today. Got a little look over here. We might actually get to see a little bit of the Grand River. If I can get between the trees here. There's water down there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Sure you can. There it is. So that's the Grand River. Just streaming on by. They have a gate here, like not a gate, but a fence, because the sign states that, what does the sign state? Warning, high cliff, stay back from the edge. That's what the sign states, right. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, and maybe one day I'll have to check it out, but I believe that's a golf course on the other side of the river. But if I'm wrong, then that's a big wild park. And one day I'll have to go over and check it out and maybe take pictures of it too. Yeah, I really can't get a good view of what's across the river there. It looks like it's a golf course, but I'm not sure if it is or not. I'll keep my eyes to the sky and see if I see any birds flying around that I can zoom in on, or maybe see squirrels running around in the trees. I'm seeing some small nests up in the trees. Something's around in this area. They're probably squirrels. We're also walking alongside the highway, which is to my right, kind of through all these trees. It's only about 20 yards on the other side. You'll hear traffic coming by every so often, if you haven't already. It's Definitely a cold one out here today. From the waist up, I'm pretty warm. I put on a t-shirt that I would normally wear in the summer, one of those tank tops, along with a regular t-shirt over top of that, along with a wearable t-shirt over top of that, and then I put on my sweater, and then a jacket, and then another long sleeve shirt over top of that, and then my coat. So yes, I am definitely warm from the waist up. However, from the waist down, I'm just wearing regular pair of jeans and socks and everything else that goes along in that aspect. This is a downhill slope here, and I need to be careful. I don't need to be falling on my butt going down it. Just taking my little old time. I'm wearing a good pair of boots to keep my feet warm, so that's a good thing. Of course, when you go down, you always have to go up. And then it looks like I'm going down a little bit again. Not as bad this time. And then, of course, to keep my hands warm while controlling the camera, I'm just wearing a pair of thin, I guess what you call like spring mittens, fall mittens. Not ones you expect to keep your hands warm in the winter, like not big huge gloves, just a pair of hand mittens so I can control the camera without taking them off. I can hear some birds. I think they were birds. They had a high-pitched chirp. I could be wrong. Yeah, that was, I think you might have heard that. I believe those are birds. They're definitely not the sound I've heard squirrels make, but birds, yes. Gonna walk along this side where I can hold the fence. This doesn't look like the safest thing. I'll keep the camera running until I get down, and I'll keep a hold of the fence as I'm going down. Problem is, if I take my hand off the camera, it then aims upwards and you're not really seeing the ground. So it's hard to actually hold the fence, hold the camera, hold my coffee. Yes, I got my hot, warm coffee with me. Of course, it won't be warm by the time that I'm finishing it because I'm a slow drinker. It'll be ice cold. Bridge slippery when wet. No kidding. I would never have guessed that. Devil's Creek Trail. This is actually where it starts, so I just went a half a kilometer without even touching the first 1.6 kilometers of the trail. Another lookout before we go into the Devil's Creek Trail. Down there is the river, the Grand River. All that ice and snow, that's how cold it's been. Yeah, let's go into the trail. So now we are officially on the Devil's Creek Trail. And they state it's 1.6 kilometers distance-wise. But as I said, I'm not sure if I'll walk the whole distance or not. It's all going to depend on how cold I get as I go. As long as the wind's not blowing, it's actually not that cold. I'm sure if you stand out here long enough, it'll get cold. But if you're moving and the sun's out, it's really not that cold.